Hello, my name is Patty, and today we're going to read a story called Chrysanthemum. That's the name of a flower. You see the big flower there? By Kevin Henkes. Let's see what happens to Chrysanthemum. The day she was born, it was the happiest day in her parents' lives. Aw, look how sweet. Here she is. She's perfect, said her mother. Absolutely, said her father. And she was. She was absolutely perfect. Her name must be everything she is, said her mother. Her name must be absolutely perfect, said her father. And it was. Chrysanthemum. Her parents named her Chrysanthemum after the beautiful flower. Oh my goodness. And Chrysanthemum grew and grew and grew. And when she was old enough to appreciate it, Chrysanthemum loved her name. Look there, she's learning to eat, taking a bubble bath, riding a bicycle. Can you find that one? She's on a slide. Oh my goodness. Looks like she's in a play. She's reading a story, so she's learning to read. She learned how to do a lot of things. Let's see how she learned to love her name. She loved the way her name sounded. Here she is. Look at that. She loved the way it sounded when her father called her for dinner. Chrysanthemum. She loved the way it sounded when he whispered it in the bathroom mirror. Chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum loved the way her name looked when it was on an envelope written in ink. There it is up at the top. And look what's next. She loved it when it was on the birthday cake, and she loved it when she got cards that had her name written on it. An orange crayon. She would say it to herself. Chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum. She loved her name. Oh, she loved it so much. It was absolutely perfect. There she is. And then she started school. On the first day of school, she wore her sunniest dress and her brightest smile. And she ran all the way to school, saying, "Hooray for school! Hooray for school!" But when Mrs. Chad took roll call, everyone giggled when they called out her name. Here she is calling out her name. See right at the top? She says Don and Eve. Oh, here we are. Louis, Al, Les, Kay, Max, Sue, here's Sue, Bill, Pat, Tom, Sam, Ken, Joe, Rita, Victoria, and Chrysanthemum. She is in a bright yellow dress. "It is so long," said Joe. "It scarcely fits on your name tag," says Rita. "I'm named after my grandmother, but you're named after a flower." Oh, how do you think that made her feel? She looked sad about that. Chrysanthemum wilted. She did not think her name was absolutely perfect anymore. She thought, it's absolutely dreadful. Oh. The rest of the day was not much better. During nap time, Victoria raised her hand and informed the teacher that Chrysanthemum's name was spelled with 13 letters. Oh my goodness. That's exactly half as many letters as there are in the entire alphabet. "Thank you for sharing," said her teacher. Now let's lay down for our nap. How do you think that made her feel? Maybe not too happy, y'all. Maybe a little sad. If I had a name like yours, I would change it, said Victoria, as the students lined up to go home. I wish I could, thought Chrysanthemum miserably. Oh, that wasn't very nice. Welcome home, said Mother and Father. School is no place for me, said Chrysanthemum. My name is too long. It doesn't fit on my name tag, and I am named after a flower. Oh, she's gonna cry. Oh, Pish Posh, your name is beautiful and precious and priceless, fascinating and winsome, said her father. It's everything you are, said her mother. It's absolutely perfect, said her father. Chrysanthemum felt much better after her favorite dinner of macaroni and cheese with ketchup and an evening filled with hugs and kisses and a game of parcheesi. Oh, she's feeling better now. That night, she dreamed that her name was Jane. It was an extremely pleasant dream. Oh, she is sleeping. The next morning, she wore her most comfortable jumper, walked to school as slowly as she could, and she dragged her feet in the dirt. She wrote, Chrysanthemum, Chrysanthemum, Chrysanthemum. She even looks like a flower, said Victoria when Chrysanthemum entered the playground. Let's pick her, said Rita. Let's smell her, said Joe. And Chrysanthemum wilted again. She did not think it was absolutely perfect. She thought her name was absolutely dreadful. Oh, that wasn't very nice, was it? She's sad again. The rest of the day wasn't much better. During nap time, Victoria raised her hand and said, Chrysanthemum is a flower that lives in the garden with worms and other dirty things. The teacher said, thank you for sharing. Now let's take our naps. That wasn't nice, was it? See Chrysanthemum at the bottom? She didn't like that. I just cannot believe your name, said Victoria as they lined up to go home. Neither could Chrysanthemum. Oh, she's feeling sad again. Welcome home, said her mother and father. School is no place for me. They said I look like a flower, and they pretended to pick me and smell me. Oh, she's so sad again. Oh, pish posh, says her mother. They are just jealous and envious and begrudging and discontented. Who wouldn't be jealous of a name like yours, said her mother. After all, it's absolutely perfect, said her dad. Chrysanthemum felt a little better after dessert, her favorite dessert, of chocolate cake with buttercream frosting, and another evening filled with hugs and kisses and parcheesi. Uh-oh, she has a great mommy and daddy. That night, Chrysanthemum dreamed that she really was a chrysanthemum. Look at that. She sprouted leaves and petals and Victoria picked and plucked at her. It was a nightmare of Chrysanthemum's life. Oh. Chrysanthemum wore her outfit with 7 pockets the next day. Oh my goodness. Can you count all those pockets? 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't forget the ones on the bottom. 5, 6, 7. Oh, she loaded her pockets with her most prized possessions and good luck charms. She took the longest route possible to school and stopped and stared at each and every flower. Chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum, they each seemed to say. Let's see what happens next. That morning, students were introduced to Mrs. Twinkle. Ooh, there she is. What do you think she can do? Think she's a singer? Maybe. Let's see what Miss Twinkle does. She was the music teacher. Her voice was like something out of a dream, as was everything else about her. The students were speechless. They thought Miss Twinkle was indescribably wonderful. They went out of their way to make a nice impression. So they must have really been on their good behavior. Mrs. Twinkle had to led the students in the scales. Me, 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 me. Then she assigned roles for the class musical. Victoria was going to be the fairy queen. Rita was going to be the butterfly princess. Oh my goodness. Joe was chosen to be the all-important messenger. Oh, look at that. And Chrysanthemum was chosen as a daisy. Chrysanthemum's daisy, Joe, Rita, and Victoria chanted, thinking it was wildly funny. Again, Chrysanthemum wilted. She didn't think it was absolutely perfect. She thought it was absolutely dreadful. What is so humorous? Asked Mrs. Twinkle. Chrysanthemum. Her name is so long, it doesn't fit on a name tag. I'm named after my grandmother, said Victoria, and she is named after a flower. Oh, poor Chrysanthemum's sad. Let's see what Mrs. Twinkle says. My name is long too. It is? Said Joe. My name would scarcely fit on a name tag, said Mrs. Twinkle. It would? And I'm named after a flower too. You are? My name is Delphinium. Oh my goodness, Delphinium Twinkle. And if my baby is a girl, I'm considering the name Chrysanthemum. She was going to name, so she's going to have a baby, can you see? And she was going to name her baby Chrysanthemum. I think it's absolutely perfect. Chrysanthemum could hardly believe her ears. She blushed and beamed and bloomed. Chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum. I think she likes her name now. Joe, Rita, and Victoria looked at her longingly. Call me Marigold, said Joe. I'm a carnation, said Rita. My name is Lily of the Valley, said Victoria. Think of that. They all wanted to be named after flowers. Chrysanthemum did not think her name was absolutely perfect. Now she knew it was. I think that made her feel a lot better. Let's see what happens last. And they put on the musical. Oh my goodness. They put on a musical. Remember, they were all practicing for a play. It was a huge success. Chrysanthemum was absolutely perfect as a daisy. Do you see her dancing there? Victoria made the only mistake. She forgot her lines as the dainty fairy queen. Chrysanthemum thought it was wildly funny, and she giggled throughout the entire dance of the flowers. And eventually, Miss Twinkle gave birth to a healthy baby girl. And there she is. And she named her Chrysanthemum. Ah, Thank you for reading with me today. The name of the story was, that's right, Chrysanthemum. Bye.